Good evening and welcome to Legacy After the Locker Room. I'm your host, Kayla Bradham, here tonight with Roman Gabriel III. Quite a legend. Good evening, Roman.
Hi, Kayla. How are you? Great to be with you tonight.
Thank you so much. My first question for you, Roman, just obviously there's a legacy with the Gabriel family and the involvement in sports. Would you start by telling the Legacy After the Locker Room community a little bit about how sports impacted you growing up?
Well, I really didn't have a whole lot of choice. I mean, growing up, my dad got drafted by the Rams in 1962, and at the time I was 2 years old. So we moved from NC State in Raleigh, North Carolina, to Los Angeles, and from that point on, all I knew was watching my dad, play the game with the Rams and going to see him play and watching him prepare and watching him practice and watching him watch film. And so at a very early age, I wanted to play football. I started playing when I was about 7 years old, and then begged my mom and dad to let me play tackle football when I was 9. So, all I really wanted to be from that point was a quarterback like my father. So I was very fortunate to grow up in a place where my dad showed me what excellence and what greatness looks like, and also instilled in me the love for the game, the passion for the game, and the work ethic for the game. So he was very specific about that, and I was happy to oblige because I just thought the game was great. And so my brothers and I grew up playing football, basketball, baseball. Back when I was in school, you played 3 or 4 sports. So that's what we did, year round. And we couldn't play sports unless we, had a good grade point average. So we knew we had to do well in school in order to be able to do extracurricular activities. So, it's one of the reasons why I enjoy sports so much, because it's just something in my blood that was instilled in me at a very early age.
And Darren Gray was on just a couple of hours ago doing a bonus episode about the faith based opportunities at the Super Bowl. And he actually mentioned his relationship with you and Tony Dungy, mentioned that your dad at one time was the highest paid player in the league, mentioned the Latino background and, the rareness of DEI in the NFL at the time that your dad played. I have to ask, Roman, how did faith and family values, culture, how did that impact your desire for what you're doing now? And we'll talk about that in just a minute.
Well, Darren Gray and I have worked together for probably almost 12 years now, together on faith-based initiatives at the Super Bowl. A lot of people don't know that that is a lot of what the Super Bowl is. The game is really kind of the icing on the cake. It's really the week before the Super Bowl where all of these special events take place: community events, youth-oriented events, faith-based events, and of course, there's a lot of players in the NFL and coaches that are Christian people and very faith-based people that want to make a difference and use their platform to impact other people's lives. So I was fortunate that my first football coach in Pop Warner when I was 9 was a Baptist pastor. So he instilled faith-based principles using football, and probably the life-changing opportunity for me was he took all of us in a van one night to Angel Stadium, Anaheim Stadium in LA, and took us to a Billy Graham uh, uh, ministry event. We had never heard of Billy Graham. Obviously, he was a pretty young guy at that time, and we weren't really sure what we were going to get. But when we came, the stadium was full. The infield was full. It's the first time I'd ever seen Anaheim Stadium full. I mean, even when I went to see the Angels, they never really packed it out at that time. So when we heard Pastor Graham, Reverend Graham, give a clear message about the gospel and about the good news and about how you relate to God and how God can make a difference in your life, I was at a time in my life where that really made sense to me. So when the event was over, my friends and I, when you're 9 years old, you want to get down on the field. So we went with all the thousands of people that were coming flooding down in the infield. So we listened to Pastor Graham talk to us about what is a Christian, about how God cares about your life and how He has a plan for your life, and how you can make a difference in the world by trusting God. And so, for me, that night was a real changing point. It was a few years later that I accepted the Lord in my life and began that adventure of trusting God. So, for me, football and faith were two things that came together. And then when we started doing ministry at the Super Bowl back in 1994, I began to see that there was a real need for telling faith-based stories of these athletes who had been through so much to get to the most important game of their life. So nobody was really doing that. So I just decided, after doing some things for a couple of faith-based organizations, that people really wanted to hear the stories of these players and coaches, and that's when we began to write about it, to get on the radio about it, to make movies about it. And I'm very fortunate that we were around to kind of start that process and choose to intentionally cover faith, family, and football. And that's been the mantra of our shows: faith, family, and sports. That's what the Roman Gabriel Show is all about. That's what our brand's all about. That's what our foundation's all about, the Sold Out Youth Foundation. That's using faith and family-based principles to make a difference in young people's lives, and to keep kids from destroying their lives with drug and alcohol use. So, for us, all the things that we do from a media standpoint play right back into how we can use media, how we can use the content, how we can use social networking, and this new delivery system of what I call old school principles for new school delivery for kids. That's how they learn. That's how they like to be entertained, and that's what they pay attention to. So pop culture and millennials and people that are succeeding in the world of education, business, sports, and entertainment. Every one of these kids has a dream and has a goal, and all of them voice that that's where they like to go. So what we like to try to do is show kids the process by which how successful people go about being successful.
And you have some pretty big names helping you do that. For example, at the Super Bowl, I think everybody knows Leigh Steinberg and David Meltzer's names. You have good help, don't you, Roman?
Well, I've been very fortunate to have grown up in the 60s and 70s with that generation of players when my dad played. Many of his teammates are good friends of mine, people who I have great respect for and who I've known most of my life. And then I also played in the early 80s, so I know a lot of those guys. And then covering the NFL from really my first job was in 1989, for over almost 30 years now. And then 29 of those years covering the Super Bowl. I'm probably one of the oldest tenured media people, that's involved in the Super Bowl. So over the years, we've done a lot of great events with a lot of these guys. Really excited for our Legends and Leaders Super Bowl 56 party. We're going to be doing it at UC Irvine at the Cove, which is the UCI Beal Innovation Center that's in the business center there on UC Irvine campus. And it'll be a great event. We're fortunate to be celebrating Rams football in Southern California. Guys like Vince Ferragamo and Fred Dreyer and Leroy Irvin and our friends Jermichael Finley, the Green Bay Packers, Ray Crockett, a two-time Super Bowl champion with the Broncos, the great Leigh Steinberg, as you mentioned earlier, and David Meltzer, and incredible professional surfer and national jiu-jitsu champion Danielle Martin, and hosted by Deb Carson. So we're very excited to do that. The proceeds are going to go to help our foundation to get a foothold in Southern California and the Orange County area. So we invite people to go to our website at soldouttv.com /events, soldouttv.com /events, and you can get tickets to the event there if you're out in Southern California, if you're out coming for the Super Bowl for Thursday, February 10th at 4:30. Or you can still be a sponsor of the event by simply going to that link. And of course, you can check out all of my Roman Gabriel Show sites, and the flyer and information is up on our LinkedIn page as well. So We're inviting people to come out and enjoy an incredible opportunity, at the Super Bowl to celebrate Southern California football, Rams football, and to come out for a great cause. The other thing that's great about the event is it's not in LA County, so we're not going to require people to give their vaccine status or have to tell anybody if they've been vaccinated. We basically will have masks on that night because it's on UC Irvine's campus. But we want people to come out and have a good time. It's been a real struggle out in Southern California with the COVID mess and all the stuff that's gone on with that. People have been locked up now for almost 2 years. So last time I was out there before Christmas, people were just excited about, the Super Bowl coming to Southern Cal and having some normalcy again.
So one of the things that I want to discuss, Roman, is the concept I think that most people have that the whole week of Super Bowl is just big drinking parties with very little community engagement, when in actuality, you and I know that it's quite the opposite in most cases. Before we do that, I want to remind our listeners, you're listening or watching the Legacy After the Locker Room podcast. We're powered by Sports Philanthropy Network. And I want to give a big thank you to our sponsor, Dugout Mugs. Using code Kayla30 will save you 30%, and a portion of the Dugout Mugs will be donated back to charity. Roman Gabriel on LinkedIn and soldouttv.com/events. Roman, in your experience, is Super Bowl week all about parties and drunkenness and craziness, or is it really about reaching back and giving back to the communities in the host community?
Well, before COVID, the Super Bowl really was a place where the business community can come together with the NFL and with pro football and with legends of the past, Super Bowl champions of the past, and current players and coaches. Most all players and coaches that I deal with have their own foundations, their own charities, their own ministries. So they're always, somebody's using either the book that they've written or an event that they're putting on or partnering with a sponsor that's involved with their foundation. So really it's a way to bring the biggest sporting event in the world together with corporate America and the NFL. So most of the events that happen at the Super Bowl, even though some are, great parties and that's their purpose, have some sort of foundational or some sort of charity aspect to them. Most of the events that you'll go to at the Super Bowl, though, the big ones, the ones that have been around a long time, like Leigh Steinberg's party, the AIA Bart Star Breakfast, the Coke Party, Taste of the NFL, and on, are events that help feed people in the Super Bowl city, that help raise money for underprivileged kids, that raise money for all sorts of foundations and charities that give back to the community. And that's my goal at the Super Bowl through this party, through the Roman Gabriel Show that we'll be broadcasting live from Corona Del Mar Tuesday through Friday at 1 to 3 o'clock. Come on down to Corona Del Mar Realty or Properties and check us out. We'll be right there on Pacific Coast Highway. But our goal has always been to use our platform and to use special events to showcase our love for that community and for the young people of that community. We'll be in schools early that week doing events at local Orange County schools. So that's really what you'll find Monday through Saturday of Super Bowl week is a lot of really cool events put on by NFL players and coaches, past and present, that make a difference in people's lives and explore how to use your platform to reach people and to use the biggest event in sports to showcase all the good that's done.
I'm going to ask you about some of your favorite guests on the Roman Gabriel Show. But before I do that, I'd just like to ask you to tell us a little bit about the Sold Out program that you're involved with. I know you mentioned it really does a lot of good in the community, steering kids in the right direction. But what was it that stirred your heart for Sold Out?
Well, when I grew up going to junior high and high school and college, school was more about preparing for life. Unfortunately, our school systems have decided that core classes, taking tests and test taking is the most important thing you can do for kids, and I disagree with that. I think education is really important. Yes, it is. But we've got to prepare kids to have the life skills and the character traits and the skills in general that they need to go out and make a living, and to go out and make a difference, and to go out and make impact in their life. So many kids today are without hope, or anxious, or dealing with a lot of uncertainty, or dealing with this now with COVID, with all the social distancing, and the whole mask situation in schools, and seeing their parents lose their jobs. And this has been a very difficult time for young people. Over 35% of teenagers aged 13 to 17 are experiencing some kind of emotional or mental distress. Suicide in seniors in high school is up 25%. 26% of middle school students will try alcohol for the first time. Many of these kids are contemplating suicide. They're dealing with thinking that maybe we're not going to have the same opportunity our parents did. But when I grew up, I had teachers, coaches, pastors, other parents that built those important life skills into my life, and really supported me in my dreams and goals to help me get where I wanted to go. And having gone where a lot of these kids want to go, every one of them has a dream. Every one of them has something they want to accomplish with their life. We started our program back, years ago, over 25 years ago, trying to help kids to understand that drugs and alcohol aren't the way to success, and that things like setting goals, hanging around with the right people, respecting your teachers and coaches, making a difference in other people's lives, and learning how to give back to your community, as well as those hard work ethic, and understanding that anything worth doing takes time. So we decided to take our program, the Sold Out Youth Foundation, the Sold Out School Alcohol, Drug, and Abstinence program, to public and private schools for 6th and 9th grade students in those very important transition years. We created an online program that's 100% online now because of COVID, that we went ahead and completely turned it over to an opportunity where we can deliver curriculum for PE health classes, fitness, health, and wellness programs for students, exercise programs, sports-specific coaching, as well as a 365 student success program where we have over 400 videos from millennials from the world of sports, entertainment, music, and business that speak into these kids' lives, into different life skills and how to set goals. We also have an online pledge program that is triggered by a QR code in the schools that kids can go to and take an accountable pledge. That part of that pledge is talking to their parents about drug and alcohol abstinence. So our current program online, this Super Bowl event this year, is going to help us raise money to create an app that will mirror all of our tools and links on our website at soldouttv.com, all set up for students, all visual and video, the way kids like to learn. And then we've also helped counselors to have very important critical material that they can use to make a difference individually with their students. So this year is very important because we're going to make our program available to homeschoolers and any parent that wants the program through a subscription program online. So 2022 is going to be a huge transition for Sold Out. And we invite parents and students to go to our website at soldouttv.com to check out how they can get involved with their students. This year, the one positive thing about the distance learning was that parents were able to learn and were able to sit with their students and watch our program together. We do an online assembly that's available through our website, so everything's right there. So our goal is to supplement schools that only have time right now for core classes, that really have cut out most extracurricular activities. If we're not in school systems, then there is no drug or alcohol education program for them. So we're working closely with athletic departments and with PE teachers, health teachers. We did it in 25 counties in North Carolina, in Tampa, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, Nashville, Tennessee. This spring, we'll be starting in Phoenix, Arizona, next year's Super Bowl site. And we'll also be, obviously, during Super Bowl week this year in Orange County schools. So we're very excited about our program. It's probably the most exciting, most meaningful thing that I've ever been involved with in my life. And I'm happy to say that so many athletes like Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Lisa Leslie, Danielle Martin, professional surfers, X Games athletes, all of these athletes speak into our program. You can check us out on Sold Out Students on Vimeo, or you can go to our website under our 365 Student Success Program and listen to all these incredible athletes speaking hope, speaking truth, and speaking life skills into these kids' lives. And believe me, these kids pay attention because they're stunned that these guys that are so successful and gals that are so successful would take the time to speak into their life.
You nailed it, Roman. As a single parent to 8 children, I know. I get it. Living in Milwaukee, I get it. And I just want to say thank you. So, as you're having this incredible opportunity to work with all these athletes, speaking into the lives of these kids, I got to ask, who have been some of your absolute favorite, absolutely just wowed by guests on the Roman Gabriel Show?
Well, I've had so many great guests. We've probably interviewed over, I don't know, over 1,000 guests during the 30-year period we've been doing this. We just did a podcast today with Eric Dickerson, who will be my 51st episode of my Roman Gabriel Show podcast. That'll be out later in the week. Guys like that are great athletes who have used their platform to make a difference in people's lives. But people like Tony Dungy for many years has spoken into our program and been so great to us. In fact, Coach Dungy helped me to fund my first movie, Tony Dungy, Super Bowl Champion, that we were able to show to churches and youth organizations and coaching organizations all over the country after he won the Super Bowl in 2006. David Tyree in 2007 did a film with us where he was able to speak into the alcohol absence and alcohol and drug situation. Bobby Bowden, God rest his soul, who spoke into our program and has been tremendous all over the years we covered him. Patrick Mahomes, who's spoken to our kids for the last 2 years, anytime we've needed him to speak into it. Tom Brady, who has spoke some great wisdom to our kids. Lisa Leslie, as I talked about, who's absolutely fabulous, came from the inner city, came from a very difficult background. We've just had so many, I've had the opportunity to interview Tiger Woods to talk about some of the things he's been through in his life. Michael Jordan, just been so blessed to have so many great life-changing athletes speak into our program and make a difference in the lives of so many students. So we could not do what we do at soldouttv.com in our program without never been an athlete that's ever charged me. They've always said, listen, if I can help one kid, then I want to do whatever we can to help. So when you hear people say bad things about professional athletes, yes, there's a very small percentage that make mistakes. But, 96, 97% of the NFL community gets it, does it right, understands their responsibility. We always hear the negative because that's how people sell papers and how they get the social networking community excited. But I can tell you that I never run out of guests for faith, family, and sports and for our programming. Just never run out. There are just too many great role models out there. And that was one of the things we wanted to do, was give kids today positive role models who are the kind of people that they can look up to, the kind of people that they can use as a mirror to say, hey, this is what success looks like.
Yes. Yes. And I've had the same experience. People ask me, can I get on your show? And it's the same thing. We're booked out for months because there's a never ending list of former professional athletes creating a legacy after the locker room. And Roman, a lot of times for these athletes, the work that they're doing post-career is way more important than anything anyone could ever do on the field or on the court.
Well, one of the most exhilarating things about being in the business that I've been in through our foundation, through our sports brand, has been the opportunity to, mentor a lot of athletes who left their careers early, or guys that weren't sure what they wanted to do when they got out. And we've been able to offer opportunities for athletes to come speak at many youth events, at school events, at faith-based events, at events like we're going to have on February 10th for Legends and Leaders. And I've had so many guys come up to me and women come up to me and say, I never knew how important it is to use your platform and to speak and make a difference in people's lives. And can I do that again? I thought it would be a tough thing for me to do, but I find it to be one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done. So that's been one of the benefits of getting involved. And as long as we have been, is that now people know about our show. They know about what we're about. And, faith and family-based people, they want to come on our show because they know that we're going to allow them to talk about the things that they have real passion for in their life. And, we're able to give them, extra time. Most radio shows and TV shows today, you've got 8 to 10 minutes max. And after you've promoted whatever it is the athlete's promoting, you have very little time to speak about important things. So we give our guests anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour, depending upon whether it's a radio show or podcast. And it gives them time to be able to talk about the things they have passion for. It gives them time to loosen up and to really talk about meaningful things in their life that they want people to know. So one thing that we prided ourselves on for over 30 years now is we've never embarrassed a guest. We've always been able to let them know that when they come on with us, they can be themselves. They can tell the truth. They can know that we're not going to embarrass them, that we're going to let them talk about what they love to talk about.
So one of the things that I love, Roman, is my charity of choice, which is Special Olympics. And I've asked every guest since episode 1 to join me in making an autograph donation to Special Olympics. Roman, can we count on you for a donation?
You sure can. That's a great organization. And, one of the things that my mom and dad instilled in me at a very young age was giving back to the community and making a difference for kids or people that needed help and that had ailments or handicaps or needed hope and needed help. So my wife and I have always tried to, even as a ministry, a 501c3 charity like we are, to choose causes during the year that we could give to. So I just think today more than ever, there are so many young people that desperately need encouragement. They desperately need hope. They definitely need to know that God loves them and has a plan for their life. And one of my favorite biblical verses that I've kept since college is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, so that you would have a future and a hope. And there's a big difference between hoping without an object and hoping in a God that created you, that gave you the ability to reach for your dreams and goals. And that's what we need to be helping this next generation with, is to say that there's a way, there's a blueprint to get to where you want to go, but it's going to require you doing the extra work. It's going to require some habits that you need to learn, like setting goals and like being organized in your life and intentional about your life. We talk a lot about that at soldouttv.com. So, we are excited to be able to deliver skills. We know that every professional, whatever you do in life, they all do the same thing. It's not a secret. It's there for you if you want it, but you've got to make the concerted choice to say, hey, I really want to do the work, and I'm willing to do what it takes to get where I want to go. So that dream doesn't stay in here. It gets out and has a tangible expression moving forward, that you can make progress, whether, you might take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But the bottom line is, at some point, you're going to get where you want to go, or at least give yourself the best opportunity to be successful.
And speaking of work and help, I'm sure that you're not doing this on your own. Who are the people, Roman, that you need to give a big thank you and shout out to?
We've had so many incredible people over the years that have donated to our foundation, who have been monthly donors, who have been one-time donors, who have given, at the end of the year, every year, to help us. And that's so critical to any foundation. You can have great plans and you can have all the tools and everything you want to accomplish, but without the funds to do it, it's really difficult. And that's why I ask people to go to soldouttv.com. If you feel like you've got teenagers that can be helped by our program, would you send $5, $10, $50, $100, whatever you can give? Just go to soldouttv.com, hit donate. You can give safely and easily by PayPal, credit card, or any way you want to give it, a check. We invite you to become part of our Sold Out team and to help us to change hundreds of thousands of students' lives. And through social networking and through the phone and through all the tools that are out there, we're able to reach hundreds of thousands of kids that I could never, ever reach going into from school to school like I used to do. So we're very excited about that. And then I've got a lot of volunteers, a lot of people who help us with our Super Bowl event every year, who help us with our public relations, our marketing, our computers, our websites, our social networking. We have had so many people who have given their talents and abilities, just as important as money. And so many other people who have encouraged us when we've hit the wall, when we've had difficult times, when sometimes you feel like quitting, because this isn't an atmosphere with what's happened to COVID. We're very fortunate that we're still in business. Because of COVID, we had to totally change our organization to an online 100% program. We're just fortunate that schools and other entities have worked with us to give us the information that they needed for us to create a program that worked in conjunction with the public and private schools and with athletic programs and associations. So we're that success story where there are hundreds of others we know that their companies have been, had to close up because of COVID. So we're thankful to God. We're thankful to a lot of people that reached in the gap for us in 2019, 2020. And this event is the stepping stone of a week's worth of events that are going to happen every year at the Super Bowl next year in Phoenix. So if you want to be involved in Phoenix next year with us and you're out in Arizona, please get hold of us on soldouttv.com and support our podcast, because our podcast and radio show, which is being syndicated as we speak, is all about getting the message out about our Sold Out Youth Foundation and how you can use sports and entertainment to educate people to the needs that young people have in our lives and how we can build the next generation of leaders. And if you're going to be in LA for the Super Bowl and you want to come out with us at UC Irvine on Thursday, February 10th, please go to soldouttv.com /events. And you can check out how you can get tickets to the event, how you can be a sponsor. And of course, that's 100% tax deductible since we're a nonprofit 501c3. So we invite you to join us for Super Bowl. We'll also be streaming my show live on dbnatelevision.tv. That's dbnatelevision.tv, Monday through Friday. And our event on Thursday night will be streamed on dbnatelevision.tv as well as funduel.com, FUNDDUEL. And for some reason you can't be at Super Bowl, but you want to experience the event, please go to FunDuel. Here in about 3 or 4 days, we'll be starting our online fundraising leading up to that February 10th event. So if you want to be a captain and help us get the word out with social networking and get your friends to give whatever they can give on the site so we can help the next generation of kids, just go to funduel.com /sold out youth foundation or sold out. So check us out. We're going to be on a lot of platforms for Super Bowl week, and we hope that you can enjoy it with us and that you can experience this great event with these incredible athletes and coaches and others that are going to be there supporting the cause.
Thank you, Roman. Folks, if you're listening to the podcast and not watching the live stream, if there were any of those websites that you missed, reach out to Roman Gabriel on LinkedIn, send him a message, or reach out to myself and I'll be sure to connect you. Roman Gabriel on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, again, most of that information you're going to find out on soldouttv.com, soldouttv.com. I want to thank our Legacy After the Locker Room community for so faithfully tuning in and joining us. Remember, you can catch Legacy After the Locker Room live stream every Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Again, tonight, if you have questions for Roman Gabriel, reach out to him on LinkedIn. And of course, thanking our sponsor one more time, Dugout Mugs, with 30% off using code Kayla30, and they will donate a portion of the money back into charity. Roman, I want to say thank you so much for what you're doing. You truly are creating hope and possibility through sports. You're connecting sports to goodness, and you're really impacting a community for Christ. I'm so proud of you. And I want you to know I've been praying for the event that's going on Super Bowl week. And I am just praying heartfeltly that that event raises an abundant blessing of money to help out in the community. My name is Kayla Bradham. I'm your host here tonight with Roman Gabriel, reminding you to live your legacy. Thank you, Roman.
Thank you, Kayla. Appreciate all that you do. And join us again on RomanGabrielShow.com. Eric Dickerson, this coming week, I had a 1-hour conversation with him. You won't want to miss it at RomanGabrielShow.com. And of course, we're everywhere you can get a podcast. You can join us. And remember to find us streaming 5 o'clock p.m. Monday through Friday at dbnatelevision.tv. It's a half-hour streaming program and where you can see them as well as hear them. So we're really excited for Super Bowl this year and hope that you'll join us for Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles for a great time and a great cause. Go to soldouttv.com. That's /events to get your tickets if you want to be involved. Or if you can't come and you just want to give, go to funduel.com and check out Sold Out or Sold Out Youth Foundation. And you can be a part of the solution of helping our next generation of kids.
My name is Kayla Bradham, and you have my support. Thank you, Roman.
Thank you, Kayla.